Let's talk about my TEDx experience. This is one I never in a million years would have imagined that I would have the opportunity to do, but look at God. You know, he doesn't always send the qualified. He qualifies those that he sends, right? So crazy opportunity. I was scrolling on social media one night, late one night, and I saw a local influencer posting about, hey, I'm going to be a speaker at TEDxAlabaster. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know, Alabaster had a TEDx thing going on. Let me do a little research. So I started doing some research and I found the website and I did a little digging and found the application to be a speaker. So I ended up filling it out on a limb, like, hey, I'm going to fill it out. If I get it, I get it. That's what it is. So I ended up getting the email saying, hey, we would like to interview you. Let me know when you're available. So we did the phone interview. And after that, next thing I know, I'm chosen. And favor ain't fair, baby. All I have to say is that it is all God as to how I got on that platform. With the assistance of training my AI, training my ChatGPT, I was able to get help with the questions to really prep me for the interview to actually get me on that stage. Now, it was about a 4-month process from the actual interview, getting chosen, and the actual talk. And within this 4-month period, you did meet at the venue. You had homework, you had deadlines that you had to meet. I was a little late on a few of the deadlines because your girl be busy out here, selling houses, being an author, being a mom, life just gets busy. However, the homework was to help prep you and guide you into what you were going to speak about on that stage. Just really help you get comfortable to make sure that you have, the confidence that you need when that time comes, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, if you look at the statistics, you'll see that only about 0.1% of people will do a TEDx talk ever, I believe. 0.01%, something like that. It's very, very small. So this is an honor that I don't take lightly. I don't think I knew how big it was as I was actually going through the process. I was just like, oh, it's an amazing opportunity. This is something that I actually wrote down at the beginning of the year. I was like, I really want to jump off my public speaking journey. Like, I want to take it serious. I really want to grow my platform. I want to grow God's platform as to what he's doing in me, what he's done in my life. I really want to push the book that I wrote forever ago. I literally wrote that book in 2017. And it took me until 2024, 7 years later, to actually release it. And that's kind of what the basis of my talk was about. Kind of my journey into becoming an author. Like, I've gone through some things that were bad. I've done some things that were bad. I've experienced some trauma that was bad. I've gone through a divorce. But I feel like every single thing that I've been through, it was for the greater good. It was to help someone else. It was for me to write about. It was for me to share about. It was for me to speak about. And I'm ready to start walking into that journey. So, as I said earlier this year, I did write that down. Like, I want to become a public speaker. I want to take this serious. And God blessed me with this amazing opportunity to do TEDxAlabaster. And I'm so grateful for it. Lisa, who was the director over TEDxAlabaster, she was amazing. She made the opportunity stress-free. She made sure you were prepared. The homework and stuff, it does get intense. Me being 34, I've been out of school a long time. So me having to do homework and write these outlines and just, show up and do things like that, it really took some self-discipline and dedication. But every single task, every single homework, every single moment of preparation that she had us to do, it only helped us for those 5 to 12 minutes that we were on stage. So we did have up to 12 minutes to present. And my speech was pretty much about my struggle, my breakthroughs, things that I've gone through in the past that have helped me to get to where I am today. The title was "The Comeback is Always Bigger Than the Breakdown," which it is. The setup is always bigger than the setback. But you just have to take the lessons out of your setbacks, to see what is this preparing you for in the future. How is this going to help you help someone else? Take yourself out of it. Be selfless. What can you tell someone, or what can you advise someone, or what advice, what resources, what tools, what coping mechanisms can you give someone that may be going through something that you have gone through? Maybe someone has lost their job, and that is a feeling that is gut-wrenching. I've been fired from a job, and when I tell you, that takes the breath out of you. If you are a hard worker, this, like, you're paying your bills, you are supporting you have bills, real adult bills, mortgages, that takes the life out of you. So you going through that experience, what can you share? How can you help someone stay motivated? Because everyone is not as strong-minded or as strong-willed as you. So think about, hey, this is a tough situation that I'm going through right now, but what can I do to help someone else that may experience this in the future? How can I tell them to prepare ahead of time so that if this happens in the future, boom, they're ready, they can take it on, they're not crashing out. It's all about what we can do for the next person. And that's what I tailored my TEDx speech around. What can you get out of what you're going through that is going to help the next person get to the other side? So it was a great experience. My talk just got published yesterday, and I found out on LinkedIn. So crazy. So I'm on LinkedIn. I was like, well, I got a little action over here. What's going on? And someone gets in my inbox and sends me a message. They were like, hey, the part of your talk where you said, hey, you wanted to make sure your book was tailored around the message and not the mess, that was very powerful. I took X, Y, and Z from it. I was like, wow, dang. So it's a talk published. So I go on YouTube and the talk is published, and I'm super excited about that. So excited about that, because there are different guidelines and things you had to adhere to make sure that your talk was actually published. Like my book, I couldn't go into detail. I couldn't share the name of my book on stage. I couldn't do any of that because that is giving off salesy, and you're not supposed to get up there and sell anything. So I just had to talk about, hey, these challenges helped me to become an author. Had I not gone through a divorce, I would have never became an author. But I couldn't say the author of Shattered Vows. Couldn't be the shameless plug on there. But outside of that, it was a great experience. There were multiple conference calls that we had to get on. They had different speakers that came in and gave us advice. They gave us, different organizers from other TEDx events came on and shared advice. They gave us advice on wardrobe, what to wear, what not to do. She said she was getting all kind of questions. I know I even asked y'all, I was like, hey, should I do like a sew-in, take my braids out? Because, braids can kind of look a little, sometimes. So she was like, oh, I like the sew-in look on you. So sew-in it was, So even things down to, hey, how's my hair going to look? What should I do? These are questions that you could ask your organizer. And Lisa was amazing at answering all of those questions for us and making sure that we were well-versed and well prepared for TEDxAlabaster. So overall, this was a great experience. I really loved it. If this is something that you're interested in doing, I'm always willing to help. I'm always willing to give you my advice. I'm always willing to share, my experience more in depth if this is something that you are interested in learning more about. Go to my website, soluxlife.com. That's SOLUXLIFE.com. And you can easily get in contact with me there. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.